Do you, I'm having these nice beet crackers. They're pretty nice. If you want one, you better come up. Come on up. It's not too often you get these, though. How about you touch? Thank you. She's such a sweetie. I love her. So I'll give you a quick recap on what I'm doing here. Because I tend to get into these videos and then you guys don't really know what I'm going on about. I just drop the needle on and then make you have to go back and watch all the videos. Are you okay? They're a little dry? They're kind of a little bit dry. They taste good, but they're a bit dry. You feel a bit like I do? Yeah, go lay down. Go lay down. You don't need more. No, you're not. You don't eat people food. It's not cool. Bye bye bat. Bye bye bat. Go lay down. Go lay down. Or sit. Whatever. Look at her. I'm gonna show you this girl. That baby. You like it? This might be the way to get BB on camera a bit more, huh? Mm-hmm. She's staring down because the crackers are on the floor. You like it? Okay. Isn't she grand? Just love her. So, what was I talking about? Oh, I was going to recap a little bit what I'm doing here. Welcome to the 31 Days of King Juggernaut, New York City. I'm your host, Karen Stever, and that is Bat, my puppy dog, who was born in this house, and I took her out of the litter when she was a week old and raised her actually in this playground room. So she's pretty comfortable here. She has been my muse. She helped me through the death of my other doggy, Sloppy. And having written an entire book that has hundreds of animals in it, it was nice to have an animal who sat at my feet, who I could cry with and laugh with through the series. There isn't a better muse around than a dog, as far as I'm concerned. Unless you're a cat person. Cats have been known to be pretty good muses as well, and the odd parakeet as well. I've heard about people having near them when they're writing. Some people stare at their goldfish. It's good to have life around you, though. Especially for some of us writers who... we tend to hole ourselves up like Secret Window style and then go a little weird. The other thing I thought I'd recap on is so I wrote a book. It's one of 7 books. They discovered that I had an arachnoid cyst, spidery cyst, in the back of my brain. And so I thought, that's probably why I'm so weird. And I think that thing powers me. So I thought, maybe with a book series I could have those spiders power the adventures of children. And so I came up with the 7 books, and each child is a nonverbal savant, and they will have a spider in a compass. Unless I decide that's going to be a little different gadget for each one. Haven't quite figured that out. But in this series, the Ian spider skull, which I talked about in a previous video, powers his compass on his journey and his adventure. So I'll talk about the spiders a little bit more tomorrow. But today I want to talk to you about Fangs. So I talked about Skull, who is Ian Spider. Fangs belongs to Egan, who is the nonverbal savant that is in King Juggernaut Berlin. So the German spider. And so that's going to be in the next book series. So today I want to read from page 186 of maybe I'll read from page 186 and the section about Fangs. As he followed the web strands, the left-hand side was not attached to the other wall, but to another complete web with nobody living there. You might assume it to be a granny flat or a backup web,
Or one might think she hated the first one and decided to build a second one. Some spiders bore easily, and they like to move often. It was anybody's guess. Beside that one was a third web attached to the wall. He, meaning Ian, was completely boxed in by the three. In the middle was another spider with a white marking on a black body too. You might have noticed in the previous video, a skull, these spiders have black shiny abdomens like 8 balls, and then they have white markings on them. This one had a white marking on a black body too. Skull had the picture of a skull on him. This design resembled a set of teeth with top and bottom fangs, much like a wolf or a vampire. Most would think this ominous, but Ian was fascinated. This one was called Fangs. He appeared smart more than wise, like he could have opposed Einstein in a calculated debate and maybe even win. I would go on more, but then that talks about some of the other spiders. So that's Fangs. And all these spiders are going to work together in some capacity. They're going to work independently in some capacity. They will rejoin in some capacity. So you kind of just watch them all the way through. But they do power, much like this thing inside my brain. They're going to power the adventures of these kids. So it was good to involve them in the series. I hope that you will order this book series. I do ship them anywhere in the world, and I will sign them to you. So I'll just, if you want to gift them to somebody, some people are buying them for their local library, and that's awesome because as an independent artist or an independent author, it's difficult for me to house every library in the world with the books, even though I'd like them to be all over the world. So I will in the future do them in different languages. I am working on an audiobook as well that I will put out at some point, and an e-book. So those will be coming as well if you just prefer not to have your hands on it. But it's a fat book. So it's over 400 pages. So if that's something that you'd like to have, the actual physical copy, I'll send that to you. If you want them in e-copy, that's fine too. You have to be patient with me while I work on the audio one though, because the audio book, that's just a ton of reading. Like after one record, I'm exhausted, right? Because I do all the backup vocals, and this comes from the Idiot Savant CD. And I did, some of the songs had 40 backup vocals because I was trying to make a choir without hiring a choir. So I would just do all the parts. But doing a book reading, I don't even know what that's going to entail. Maybe I'll just read one chapter per day or something and not kill myself. But then I'd have it done in 20 days, right? So you kind of gauge it that way. But this has been very cathartic for me. My life has never had more drama in it than around the time that I wrote this book. So I often say that writing the book was not the hardest part. Life was the hardest part. And this was my escape, and really a lot of fun. It has carnivals and a circus and elephants and monkeys and, murders of crows and just anything you can imagine. A kingdom with, non-verbal children, and they have old people that are their mentors, and there's something really magical going on as well. But the point of me writing this book series was because I really believe that if there's anything that's going to change in this world, it will be because of children and animals. It won't be because of our current leadership. And that's not just one country, it's all over the world. There's problems all over the place. And I think that children and animals will reset that balance. And there's going to become a time where they're just going to have to. They're going to have to go ahead and take back what was stolen from the thieves. And I hope in your life that if you're feeling really frustrated by any leadership that's in your life, that you will look back to the basics of what good leadership is. You might have to find it through your children. You might have to find it through how animals do it. I picked an elephant because I believe elephants are the best leaders out there, because they are super intelligent and they are super strong and they're super family oriented, but most of all they're empathetic. And I think without empathy, you cannot be a leader. Without that level of compassion, you cannot be a leader. It kind of takes all of that. You can't have one without the other. You have to have kind of strong compassion and make really bold decisions, but be compassionate about it. And so that's why the tagline on the book is, "We forgot how to lead. An elephant never forgets." I hope that you will order this book. I will sign it to you and ship it anywhere in the world, okay? Have a great night, and I will chat with you really soon, okay? For now, rock on. Hey, Bat, you want to say bye? You want to say bye-bye, Bat, baby? Bye, Bat. Yeah, that's a good baby. See you guys.